Wonderland Spectacle Co presents
Groundhogs!
Today we're celebrating Groundhog's Day with Ms. G, who lived at Mass Audubon's Drumlin farm in Lincoln. In 2014, Ms. G was named the official groundhog of the state of Massachusetts. As the legend goes, if the groundhog emerges from its winter hibernation and sees its shadow, that predicts 6 more weeks of winter, so the groundhog scurries back into its burrow. But if the sky is cloudy, the groundhog begins getting ready for spring.
Groundhog is another name for woodchuck, which is an English sound-alike of an Algonquin word, something like woodchuck or weejack. Woodchucks are rodents, larger cousins of squirrels and chipmunks.
They make their homes in tunnels they dig down into the dirt, often with an entrance, a lookout hole, rooms for sleeping and babies, and a bathroom.
A family of woodchucks lives in our backyard in the city of Malden. What is it eating in this case?
It looks like an apple core.
Each summer, woodchucks must fill their bellies with enough plants to feed them through their winter hibernation. They eat clover, wild lettuce, grasses, chickweed, dandelion, blackberries, raspberries, cherries, haygrasses, alfalfa, corn. Miss G favors broccoli, carrots, sweet potatoes, corn, kale, and acorns. During hibernation, a woodchuck's body cools down from 99 degrees Fahrenheit to 40 degrees, and its heartbeat slows from 100 beats per minute until it's pumping at only 4 beats per minute. Groundhog Day arrives around the time when groundhogs emerge from their winter hibernation, well, technically, a little beforehand. It's the time when woodchucks wake up from their winter slumber and head out to look for sweethearts, head out to start families. The holiday comes to us from Northern Europe, from a Celtic festival called Imolc, an old Irish word said to mean in the belly, as in mother sheep pregnant with spring lambs, or perhaps ewe's milk. Across England, France, and Germany, people used to look for bears or badgers to help forecast the coming weather. They say the tradition was brought to the United States by German immigrants to Pennsylvania. Finding no badgers here, they figured woodchucks would do. Okay, let's zoom out into space for a minute. Groundhog's Day marks a point in the Earth's orbit around the Sun. The holiday sits halfway between the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year in December, and the spring equinox in March, the astronomical start of spring. Groundhog Day is a holiday marking that turning point. Traditionally, it's a time to ask, do I have enough food to survive the rest of the winter? And, is it time to begin planting for spring? So Miss G, what's your prediction? Groundhog Day arrived with a snowstorm this year. Lots of clouds, no shadows. So according to Miss G,
we'll have an early spring.
The groundhog story is of course a legend.
If you rely on a rat for weather predictions, you'll likely be wrong more than half the time.
But the story has roots in the notion that if it remains winter cold, the moisture is locked up, so there are fewer clouds and more sun to cast shadows. But if spring is beginning to warm the earth, more moisture is unlocked, and this warm, damp air mixes with the sky's cold air, creating clouds. Goodbye, shadows! What Ms. G truly tells us is that even if there is still snow on the cold ground, the earth is beginning to wake. Animals start making babies in their dens. Sap is beginning to flow. The days are getting longer.
Hello, spring! Groundhog Day Party by Ulysses. It's Groundhog's Day. Where's the groundhog? I'll get. Pop! Yay! The end.
Groundhog Day has us thinking about shadows.
Let's make shadow puppets.
Here's what you'll need: scissors, a box, tape, thin paper, sticks, string, and light. We're going to make this box into a puppet theater. Tape the empty box shut to make it more sturdy. Then cut holes out in the front and back to make your theater. Cover the front hole with thin paper to be a screen. We used wax paper, but you can use any thin paper you have lying around. Then you're going to tape the edges of the paper to the edges of the box tightly so that the screen is taut. You can hold it up to the window or in front of the light to test it to see how it's working. Let's make some sets, the places where a character lives. Here's a burrow for the groundhog. Design the set so they fit snugly into the theater. It's good to use stiff paper. Test it to make sure that it fits. Now let's cut out our puppets. In shadow puppetry, the audience mainly sees shapes, so use the details of the edges and silhouettes to describe your characters. You can also cut out eyes and mouths. So you're going to tape a little piece of string to one end of the stick, then tape the other end of the string to your puppet. This makes a flexible hinge, so you can press the puppet tight up against the screen when you're performing and move it around easily. When the puppet's tight against the screen, it makes a nice sharp image. For the performance, you'll need a light behind your theater. You can use the sun at your window, or a lamp, or a flashlight. When you set up your theater, you may need to weigh it down. We used some rocks. This is what it looks like backstage when you're performing. And this is how it looks to the audience.
We can't wait to see how your shadow puppet shows come out.